Bradford is a city in West Yorkshire, England. It became a municipal borough in 1847, received a city charter in 1897 and, since the 1974 reform, the city status has belonged to the larger city of Bradford Metropolitan Borough. It had a population of 349,561 at the 2011 census, making it the second largest subdivision of the West Yorkshire built-up area after Leeds, which is approximately 9 miles, 14 kilometers, to the east. The borough had a population of 552,644, making it the 9th most populous district in England. Bradford City. Bradford Manningham Mill, Wool Exchange, City Hall, Cathedral, Alhambra Theatre, St George's Hall, and City Skyline. Coat of Arms of Bradford. Bradford is located in West Yorkshire. Bradford. Location within West Yorkshire. Area 141.313 square miles, 366.00 square kilometers. Population 546,976. 1. Density 3,871 square mi, 1, for 95 km. 2. Demonym Bradfordian. 2. OS Grid Reference SE163329. London 174 miles, 280 kilometers, S. Metropolitan Borough. Lying in the eastern foothills of the Pennines, the area's access to supplies of coal, iron ore and soft water facilitated the growth of a manufacturing base, which, as textile manufacture grew, led to an explosion in population and was a stimulus to civic investment. There is a large amount of listed Victorian architecture in the city, including the Grand Italianate City Hall, 4. From the mid-20th century, deindustrialization caused the city's textile sector and industrial base to decline, and, since then, it has faced similar economic and social challenges to the rest of post-industrial northern England, including poverty, unemployment and social unrest. It is the third largest economy within the Yorkshire and the Humber region at around £10 billion, which is mostly provided by financial and manufacturing industries. It is also a tourist destination, the first UNESCO City of Film, and it has the National Science and Media Museum, a city park, the Alhambra Theatre and Cartwright Hall. The city is the UK City of Culture for 2025, having won the designation on 31 May 2022, 5. After an uprising in 1070, during William the Conqueror's harrying of the north, the manor of Bradford was laid waste. 6, and is described as such in the Domesday Book of 1086. It then became part of the honour of Pontefract, given to Ilbert de Lacy for service to the Conqueror, in whose family the manor remained until 1311. 6. There is evidence of a castle in the time of the Lacys. 8. The manor then passed to the Earl of Lincoln, John of Gaunt, the Crown, and, ultimately, private ownership in 1626. By the Middle Ages, Bradford had become a small town centred on Kirkgate, Westgate and Ivegate. 6. 9. In 1316, there is mention of a fulling mill, a soak mill where all the manor corn was milled, and a market. During the Wars of the Roses, the inhabitants sided with House of Lancaster. Edward IV granted the right to hold 2 annual fairs, and from this time, the town began to prosper. In the reign of Henry VIII, Bradford exceeded Leeds as a manufacturing centre. 8. Bradford grew slowly over the next 200 years as the woolen trade gained in prominence. During the Civil War, the town was garrisoned for the parliamentarians, and in 1642 was unsuccessfully attacked by royalist forces from Leeds. Sir Thomas Fairfax took the command of the garrison and marched to meet the Duke of Newcastle, but was defeated. The parliamentarians retreated to Bradford, and the Royalists set up headquarters at Bowling Hall, from where the town was besieged, leading to its surrender. 8. The Civil War caused a decline in industry, but after the accession of William III and Mary II in 1689, prosperity began to return. In 1825, the Woolcombers Union called a strike that lasted 5 months, but workers were forced to return to work through hardship, leading to the introduction of machine combing. 14. This industrial revolution led to rapid growth, with wool imported. A permanent military presence was established in the town with the completion of Bradford Mill Barracks in 1844. 16. Bradford became a municipal borough in 1847, and a county borough in 1888, making it administratively independent of the West Riding County Council. It was honored with city status on the occasion of Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee in 1897, with Kingston upon Hull and Nottingham. The three had been the largest county boroughs outside the London area without city status. The borough's boundaries were extended to absorb Clayton in 1930, and parts of Rawdon, Shipley, Wharfdale and Yeadon urban districts in 1937. 18. Bradford Waterworks on completion of the Wharfdale scheme in 1881. Bradford had ample supplies of locally mined coal to provide the power that the industry needed. Local sandstone was an excellent resource for building the mills, and with a population of 182,000. By 1850, 19, the town grew rapidly, as workers were attracted by jobs in the textile mills. 15. A desperate shortage of water in Bradford Dale was a serious limitation on industrial expansion and improvement in urban sanitary conditions. In 1854, Bradford Corporation bought the Bradford Water Company, 20, and embarked on a huge engineering program to bring supplies of soft water from Airedale, Wharfdale and Nidderdale. 21. By 1882, water supply had radically improved. Meanwhile, urban expansion took place along the routes out of the city towards the Hortons and Bowling, and the townships had become part of a continuous urban area by the late 19th century. 9. A major employer was Titus Salt, who in 1833 took over the running of his father's woolen business, specializing in fabrics, combining alpaca, mohair, cotton, and silk. By 1850 he had 5 mills. However, because of the polluted environment and squalid conditions for his workers, Salt left Bradford and transferred his business to Salt's mill in Saltaire in 1850, where in 1853 he began to build the workers' village, which has become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. 22. Henry Ripley was a younger contemporary of Titus Salt. He was managing partner of Edward Ripley and Son Limited, which owned the Bowling Dye Works. In 1880, the dye works employed over 1,000 people, and was said to be the biggest dye works in Europe. Like Salt, he was a councillor, JP and Bradford MP, who was deeply concerned to improve working class housing conditions. He built the industrial model village of Ripleyville on a site in Broomfields, East Bowling, close to the dye works. Other major employers were Samuel Lister and his brother, who were worsted spinners and manufacturers at Lister's Mill, Manningham Mills. Lister epitomized Victorian enterprise, but it has been suggested that his capitalist attitude made trade unions necessary. 23. Unprecedented growth created problems with over 200. During the 1820s and 1830s, there was immigration from Germany. Many were Jewish merchants, and they became active in the life of the town. The Jewish community, mostly living in the Manningham area of the town, numbered about 100 families, but was influential in the development of Bradford as a major exporter of woolen goods from their textile export houses, predominantly based in Little Germany, and the civic life of Bradford. Charles Seaman, 1814 to 1877, was a textile merchant and philanthropist who developed a productive textile export house in the town. He became the first foreign and Jewish mayor of Bradford. In 1864-29, Jacob Behrens, 1806 to 1889, was the first foreign textile merchant to export woolen goods from the town. His company developed into an international multi-million-pound business. Behrens was a philanthropist. He also helped to establish the Bradford Chamber of Commerce in 1851. Jacob Moser, 1839 to 1922, was a textile merchant who was a partner in the firm Edelstein, Moser & Co., which developed into a successful Bradford textile export house. Moser was a philanthropist. He founded the Bradford Charity Organization Society and the City Guild of Help. In 1910, Moser became the first Jewish Lord Mayor of Bradford. Jowett Cars 8 badge to support the textile mills. A large manufacturing base grew up in the town providing textile machinery, and this led to diversification with different industries thriving side by side. 15. The Jowett Motor Company, founded in the early 20th century by Benjamin and William Jowett and Arthur V. Lamb, manufactured cars and vans in Bradford for 50 years. 33. The Scott Motorcycle Company was a well-known producer of motorcycles and light engines for industry, founded by Alfred Angus Scott in 1908 as the Scott Engineering Company in Bradford. Scott motorcycles were produced until 1978. Independent Labour Party. Edit. The city played an important part in the early history of the Labour Party. A mural on the back of the Bradford Playhouse in Little Germany commemorates the centenary of the founding of the Independent Labour Party in Bradford. In 1893, the Bradford PALs were three First World War PALs battalions of Kitchener's army raised in the city. When the three battalions were taken over by the British Army, they were officially named the 16th, 1st Bradford, 18th, 2nd Bradford, and 20th, Reserve Battalions. The Prince of Wales's own West Yorkshire Regiment. On the morning of the 1st of July 1916, the 16th and 18th battalions left their trenches in northern France to advance across no man's land. It was the first hour of the first day of the Battle of the Somme. Of the estimated 1,394 men from Bradford and district in the two battalions, 1,060 were either killed or injured during the ill-fated attack on the village of Sur-les-Buisiers. Other Bradford battalions of the Prince of Wales's own. Bradford is not built on any substantial body of water, but is situated at the junction of three valleys. One of them, that of the Bradford Beck, which rises in moorland to the west, and is swelled by its tributaries, the Horton Beck, Westbrook, Bowling Beck and East Brook. At the site of the original ford, the Beck turns north and flows towards the River Aire at Shipley. Bradford Ale, or Bradford Dale, is a name given to this valley. See for example, Firth 1997, 1. It can be regarded as one of the Yorkshire Dales, though as it passes through the city, it is often not recognised as such. The Beck's course through the city centre is culvert and has been since the mid-19th century. On the 1852 Ordnance Survey Map 2, it is visible as far as Sun Bridge, at the end of Tyrrell Street, and then from beside Bradford Forster Square railway station on Kirkgate. On the 1906 Ordnance Survey 3, it disappears at Tumbling Hill Street, off Thornton Road, and appears north of Cape Street, off Valley Road, though there are culverts as far as Queen's Road.